So, how many guys are there? Do you have chat box in this? Yeah. So
Yeah.
everybody type in your language preference for coding, like which is the language you are comfortable in. I'll type mine.
Python.
Holy fuck.
Nice.
Nice run.
Wait, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Nice. The
Hey,
last is
can we do a poll or something? No, we can't, no?
No, we can't, I think. Let me see.
What was the question?
So what's your favorite language? Your language of preference also? So my language of preference is CPP.
I only know Python.
Yeah, and that's the answer.
Learning Java now.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
It's in academics or is you're learning by interest?
It's academics as well as I'm learning with interest, both.
Cool. How many people here don't like Python? But then, just because it's your first language, you're just coping up with it.
Python.
Okay, pretty much everyone loves Python.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You can build so much with Python.
And me and Sayan are not one of those, so it'll be hard time.
You guys had C in the first sem, right?
Yeah, see, in first sem, Java, and second sem, Python in holidays, and again Python with data structures in third sem, and then R language in fifth sem, and C++ for somebody in fifth sem.
Oh yeah, for me.
Yeah.
No, it's totally reverse for us. They started with Python in the first sem.
I don't know
So
if it's a
we are
correct
experiment things. Okay, they're experimenting on us, like which is suitable, and then they're giving to you.
We are the guinea pigs, you know, whom they'll first try out few things.
But most people suggest to start with C or C++.
CPP, yeah.
Yeah.
Send it in core team also, Bharat.
For competitive as well, C++ is most preferred, right?
Yeah, C++. Quite rarely Java. Not rarely. Dude, like it's like 70% C++, 90% C++, but okay, let's call it 70%.
Second most preferred.
Yeah, Java or C.
Yeah. But the code is like, it will be so long in C++, right? As compared to
long.
But it runs faster.
Yeah, runs faster. And it just takes like 1 week to get comfortable. Sign, when did you start C++?
Like when I
started CP, no?
When did I start? Means like when I first came to know it.
Okay.
So it was like when I was in ninth we had C, and 11th we had C++.
Holy shit, you were senior to me then. Wow. I thought you just learned just now. Like recently when you started CP.
No. I was from ICSE, so in ICSE we had.
So you had programming in your 11th also.
Yep. I like in 11th I was in CBSE and they had C++.
Oh,
So yeah, let's start formally. So before people join in, so the thing is, for every domain that is currently there in the club, we'll be having a kind of a bridge session or bridge course that might go for 1 hour or like for a few days. It totally depends on the domain need and how much the domain wants to. So basically, what this bridge course is necessary. Why is this bridge course necessary? Because if suppose there are 4 people who will be joining a domain, then these 4 people should have the same basics. Like the minimum basic should be same with everybody, so that when you're working together, you'll at least have something in common to talk about at least. So some people might have a lot of knowledge. Some people might be a very beginners. They might be very new to a domain. Then we are just trying to set out a bare minimum basics which everybody should have. Okay, so that it will never be intimidating for you guys to do anything, to do any kind of contribution. So do you think it will be useful? Obviously yes, but still I'm asking.
yeah, it is useful.
Yes, we'll get to know what is your opinion on that. So
Yes.
just now we came to know that you prefer C++ and most of the people prefer C++. I used to think people preferred Python because when you use Python, you don't have to focus much on syntax and just can code the problem. And that would be can code
See,
faster.
Just after one particular
Exactly.
discussion, there are many things which are revealing. Cool, nice that you've picked it up, Sriram. So, anyways, so how this bridge course will be happening is coming to this, but this is the first bridge course happening in Codex with respect to all of the domains. So in this, what Sayan and me have planned is, so we'll start this session. We'll only introduce you to the bare basics of. We'll just be giving you exposure of how competitive coding, what is competitive coding, how should you start, is competitive programming your thing or not. We'll just be giving you as much as exposure you want over this particular thing. So first and most important thing in developing yourself is you need to have exposure over many things. Only then you'll get to know if that is your thing or not. If there is a person who doesn't know what is a particular thing, if he's not having information about one thing, that might cost him in later of part of his career journey. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to give you as much as exposure that we wanted to have when we were starting out. So you'll get as much as exposure in this particular session. And after this, if you're interested, then you can continue with this particular bridge course. It will be going on to like 4-5 days, and
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
yeah, almost 4-5 days. So basically, the one thing which we have seen is we have conducted like more than 2 or 3 contests, and one thing which you have seen is among juniors, they're quite intimidated about the contest. They feel they register, they come, but they'll not even try one question solving. But they'll be in the meeting, but they won't try solving. They'll assume that they're not capable of solving the question, and they just give up soon. But then the whole point is we frame the questions, we conduct the questions, we conduct the contest specifically for juniors. But then juniors, because they're new to this particular paradigm of programming, they feel quite intimidated and they'll give up. So in this bridge course, our main goal is to get the fear factor out of your thought process. Okay, so that is our main goal. So at last, after this particular session, we'll be giving out to you few coding questions from very easy coding questions, so that you get yourself comfortable and you get the confidence. You get your confidence levels up. Okay, and then at last, finally, we might have a team coding contest where you get to join with another friend from here, and then you get to participate in that contest. Okay, so by the end of this particular course, this particular workshop, you'll be able to participate in a contest where we have formed. You'll form a contest, and the main factor is we are trying to get your fear factor out of your thought process. So this is it. So what do you guys think? Excited?
Yes, very
Cool.
Excited.
Cool. So did we get any WhatsApp replies that they're coming or not? So I don't think anybody will be coming now. So let's start. Let's start
Yep.
now, Sayan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start with asking questions as usual. What is competitive programming?
Like what you think
Audience.
it is.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
It's
Not
like
related to any course subject, but it's just about algorithms and finding out patterns so that you will be become better at problem solving and identification of patterns and coding it into a computer.
Okay.
Nice
So
one.
It's not
point
about any
is-
core subject like operating systems or cloud, but it's mainly about problem solving. Just
Okay.
problem solving.
Problem solving. 1 point we got. Sai Tarun, you were telling.
yeah, the same thing.
Okay. So Mahendra.
Communication between machine and human.
Okay. Nice. So you'll set up this kind of a love story between you and your computer. Cool. This is very surprising point because you
That
see
is
in the
nice point.
slides. Yeah, I have that slide in my particular PPT. I don't know how Mahendra got that particular
So
point.
PPT
Very
got
cool
leaked
point.
then.
Very cool point. Okay. Then Anusha, do you have your views?
Hello,
You are on
Anusha.
unmute, but we can't hear you. Maybe there's a mic issue.
You can text. You can text.
Yeah, if you have a mic issue, you can text. I think it's a mic issue dude, because
Yeah.
she unmuted herself. So Nikhil, Nikhil, what's your view on competitive coding? Nikhil, are you even there?
Hello, Ji.
Yeah. So what do you think about competitive coding?
It's good.
It's good. So did you try competitive coding?
And attempt the test accordingly.
I think no, Ji.
But Mahendra, you're telling something. Your voice is very low, Mahendra. Come near the mic.
Hey, nothing.
Okay. Krishna,
Yeah, it's like meeting up to a specific specifications of a user.
okay.
Like coding, because you will say something like, "Oh, I need this type of code," so meeting up to their expectations.
So I think what he means is so mapping it into
Yeah.
problem. So he meant that a problem statement will be given by a user, and then we have to follow the constraints. So that is what you
Yeah.
meant, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, nice. So we'll like almost you guys, everybody covered almost what you wanted to tell. So that is competitive coding, but we still have to introduce it. So let's go. Like Sriram and Krishna told, we have to, what is competitive coding is a kind of you have to write programs to solve logical problems in a contest environment. So that is what competitive coding is. And what will be in those contest environments, like Krishna told, there will be a problem statement and there'll be a few constraints and you have to think logically and you have to solve it. Okay. And only you have a limited time. It's not like you'll have forever eternity and you have to solve the questions. No, you'll be put on a time pressure and you have to solve it within the time. And does it ring a bell? Let's see. Next, the solution should be as efficient as possible as far as the question constraints are concerned, like Krishna told, and you are judged based on the execution time and memory used by the program, and rarely length of the code, very rarely, but that is not a thing anymore. So now, does it ring a bell after seeing all this? Is this not like some kind of an interview coding round?
Yeah, maybe kind of.
See, you will be given logical coding problems. You will have a limited time, and you have to write optimistic code. So does this not replicate interview round?
Yeah, it
Kind of similar.
replicates.
Kind of similar, right?
Not
So,
kind of, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So keep this in mind. Let's see how it's related. Now, talking about this thing, so what is difference between normal programmers and competitive programmers? What will be the difference? What's the thing which we can tell that it makes a difference? So let's see. Consider this question. Okay, I highly encourage anybody solving it. So it'll be like a couple of lines of code. So you have to write a function. Okay, simple function where you're given an integer n and you have to find n power 4. Okay, for example, if input is 2, then you have to output 2 power 4. I hope 2 power 4 is 16. Is it not 16? 32, right? No.
It's 16.5.
2 power 4.
16.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, 16. Yeah, so yeah, I'd recommend you, like, I'll encourage if you guys write a program. So what do you do in Python? So Python guys, come on. Import answer, print answer. Hello, I'm expecting answers here. Like, what will be the approach? Tell me for this particular question.
For loop and just multiply.
Okay, that is one thing. Okay, Sriram has sent the answer. That is one thing. Okay, cool. Now let's see. So I propose to you 2 different solutions. You have to tell me which is the better one.
First one.
Okay, why do you think first one is the better one?
Less code.
Okay, and is there anybody who tells that the second one is better one?
I think it's the second. I've noticed once that if you use multiplying a number with itself is much, it's less complex than multiplying it with any other number. So I think it's here is the second thing.
Okay, so
It's not about
let
the
me-
number of lines, but it's how easy it's for the computer to calculate.
Nice, really good answer, really good answer. So now what's so special about competitive programmers is we think in the right extreme side. So it doesn't matter how long or how complex your code is, but we want the computer to do things very easily at their end, just like how Sriram told. Now, if you see the code in the left-hand part, there is like n to the power of 4, right? So what Python does is basically, I've commented out, right? N into n into n into n. So there's totally 3 or 4 operations, 4 multiplication operations, which is going on. Okay. And if you look at the right-hand side, what I've done is, first of all, I've calculated n square, then I multiplied, I already have n square here. I don't need to calculate n square again. So I just multiplied n square into n square, I'll get n power 4. So here we are saving on 2 extra operations. In real life, it really doesn't matter because, Sayan, what do you think will be the difference of performance between these 2 code?
Which one?
Performance,
Sorry,
like,
okay.
nice ra.
Sorry. Okay. So the thing is, like, in the second one, we are doing 2 operations. Okay, you have, like you can see as mentioned here. So we are doing 1 operation, then we are doing another operation. But in the first, like in the left-hand side one, okay, in 1 operation only it's getting over.
In 1 operation, they're doing 4 multiplication operations.
4 multiplications, yes.
Yeah. So the thing which I'm trying to tell here is, so this is not a specific generalizing example. I'm just telling you that we competitive programmers try to optimize wherever they can. Okay, just to fit inside the particular constraint. So this is just an example. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay. So this is one example. Now moving on, should you do exactly CP? Should you do CP? I'm here with all the fancy logos and all. Sayan will be walking you through everything. Okay, so we have C++, we have Java, we have the bottom left one is CodeChef, and the bottom right one is Codeforces. So all these we'll be going through what is CP, where you have to do. Next, should you do CP? After listening to all this, can someone like tell your opinion that should you do CP? If yes, then why you should do CP? Can somebody tell me?
I think we should do CP because if we are able to optimize even such simple codes, then we'd be trained to optimize the bigger codes we write during our jobs and all. So we'll be trained in that way to find the best possible solution instead of just working out one solution.
Cool.
Also, our mind will be trained at better problem solving, which is another factor.
Cool.
Yeah, in the constrained time.
Cool.
Also, you'll be much equipped with the syntax and all, so it will be registered permanently in your mind. You don't have to do much work on revision again later if
Awesome,
you want to.
awesome. Like we've got the straight perfect answers. So let's see. There are two type of people, like quite generalizing. There are two type of people who want to do, who do CP. Okay, generalize. There may be many people, but in my perspective, there are two types of people. Okay, and I hope even you will agree with me. Let's see. So there is one specific type of people who do CP, who wants to get a really higher package from these big FANG companies. Okay, Sayan, why do you think CP helps in getting a FANG job?
If you ask me, FANG companies and most of the MNCs, the level of their questions is like you have to be, optimize your code too much. Okay, you have to abide by them. Okay, you can't do anything, and competitive coding really helps in doing that. Okay, you can be fast. You can, optimize your code. Like after reading the code, you can, in a what they call in a snap. Okay, you can get the answers. So if you keep on practicing, okay, this is what you get in result.
So why people pick competitive coding for achieving a job, and not actually a job, but achieving very high packages. So when there is high package, what happens? Many people apply for that. When there are many people, for companies, it becomes tough to interview each and every one of them. So to just filter out and take the cream layer of the whole input they're getting, what they would do is that they pick competitive coding as an option. So they do the same. I told you, it will ring like after showing you all how a actual contest occurs. I told you that it's similar to an interview process. Why do they have the same competitive coding environment in interview processes? Not everybody, like competitive programming is a kind of a parameter using which you can filter, and it is very promising that if he is good at competitive coding, he can be good at anything because he has a really good intuition under some time pressure. Just imagine when there is no time pressure and there are very simple problems to solve, you'll obviously come up with very good results. So that is why these companies use competitive coding as a filter when they are filtering out huge number of population which has applied for a particular post. And yeah, that is why the interviews are very tough and very few people get into these companies. And here's the first category of people. Here comes the second category of people. So as Mahendra told, people will love to communicate between this particular machine and through this code. So people will just love CP. It doesn't matter he gets a job or not. They just love CP. Like if you get into any kind of competitive game, you have this different ranks, right? For example, Valorant is a very cool one if you have ever played Valorant. So there you'll have many ranks. You'll have the same elo. You win, you gain some rating. You lose some rating. You have this competitiveness in which you have the interest of playing the game. CP is just the same. It gives you the same kind of pleasure when you solve a question, and it gives you same kind of discomfort when you don't solve a question. So it's just a matter of love that boosts somebody to do CP. So these are the two different types of people. And there is the third type who loves CP and also wants to get a job. So yeah, that is what it is. Now I'm done with my presentation. If you have any doubts, we'll go through, and we'll start with actually explaining you guys how exactly things work and where you should go, where you should start.
Doubts incoming. Oh yeah, 6-star tag. Everyone wants that. 6-star tag.
So tell me guys, which category do you guys fall into? The first one or second one? Or a new category, just to complete the discussion? Be honest. Your way is so cool.
Yeah, I fall in first one.
Nice. Then?
Even I'm like in the first, like centric to the first category.
Cool. And Sujana, hi Sujana.
Yeah, sorry, I'm late. Yeah, I think I fall into first category only.
Cool. So when I started, I fell into the first category. I hope even Sayan, he started because of the first category. But now me and Sayan are not in the first category. We are in the second category. It's just that as you go with the contest and all, you just fall in love with it. Okay, so
First love
that
of your
is
life if you don't have anything else.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
this is it. So do you guys have any doubts? So why I'm asking is we are not prepared. We didn't prepare for this particular thing. If you ask doubts, we might have missed something. So your doubts might be helpful for others.
Any doubts that you know have till now?
I have one. Why is CPP preferred over Python? Because Python is easier to write and you take less time to
Language,
write.
language.
Yeah, language. Python is much easier to write and you don't have to focus much on semantics and syntax. Maybe that's useful in that.
So when you that is one peculiar discussion which we can have all day. So I'll just brief it out in very short time. So the thing is, in C++, everything is hard coded. You have to tell each and everything. If you're doing anything, C++ has to know why you're doing this. If you're declaring a variable, C++ has to know what kind of a variable that is, why you're declaring it. If you don't use it, it'll pop an error because declaring a variable without using it is useless. So C++ is very hard on you, and it explicitly makes sure that everything you're doing is optimized. Okay, that is one thing. Now, going on to Python, you can declare any variable of any type. So what if in the deeper code of your particular Python code which you're writing in some deeper level, you assume that that particular variable is some other type. Okay, it might not happen, but there is a very high possibility that it's going to happen. So what will see, because Python is not strict, it goes easy on you and it doesn't inform you what mistakes you're making in the compile while you compile Python code to executable. So the thing is, you're more prone to make bugs. It's more prone to have bugs in your code. Okay, so you'll have many bugs in your code which can't be detected by the compiler. So those kind of things are called bugs. So Sayan, how do I explain it?
Like in short, Python is a bit bulky. Okay, it's kind of bulky. Like when you run the code, okay, it has it's quite a very fun discussion. Okay.
2.2. Its first thing is it's interpreter language. Like I totally forgot it. So C++, it takes a lot of time to compile, but the executable takes a very
That's
short
what I
time
meant by
to
bulky.
yeah execute. But Python, it directly gets executed. The interpreter will directly do it. So it will take very less time to interpret because it's
C++. It takes less time. Okay, you said Python takes less time.
It takes for C++, it takes more time to compile, but less time to execute.
Yeah, execute. Yeah, exactly.
That's opposite in Python because Python uses C++ again in behind. So anyhow, that is one thing. Second thing is bugs, dude, because Python is not a strict language. You'll have more chances of getting bugs in your code. So that is why people will not use Python.
They still use.
Got an idea.
Like in CP at least, because there's a very time capped, right? So basically you can't sit and debug your code. So when there are less possibility of getting bugs in your code, do you know what a bug is?
Errors which can't be detected by the compiler.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope we have cleared it, or we can clear it in future. While we are hosting contests, go with Python.
Yeah.
Let's see. Go with Python. Yeah, you're free to go with Python, but let's see.
Okay, great.
We'll show you. We'll have great examples during the contest. Anyways.
Okay, so before going into the core part, okay, I'll say something. Okay, that even this guy doesn't know. Yeah. So during contest, okay, it's a very strange thing. What I do is the easier questions. Okay, I do in Python. Okay, when it comes to the harder question, okay, I switch to C++. It saves time. Okay, the easier question. Okay, it is like I have to again type my whole thing. So instead of C++, I just do it in Python. Easier, right? And then okay, I like level C. Okay, questions. I come to C++ and do it.
Yes, it's a good.
It's just a personal choice.
Yeah,
but I'm just giving you a generalized view.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm strange. Never mind. Okay.
Even Nikhil does the same way.
We are
Same way. If they are easy, I will go with Python.
Yeah.
Otherwise, C++.
Okay, fine. Let's go. Can I share screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have permission. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Big
Uh,
fancy dude.
Okay.
Yeah. Holy moly. What is
Yep.
that?
So I hope you are on your PCs. So I would recommend you to come like go on with me. It'll be easier in that way. Okay. So if you're on PCs, I would like you to go to VS Code and install an extension first called as CPH. This extension will help you. Okay, like before submitting your code, okay, you need to make sure that is your code working properly or
So
not.
what
If
you're
there are
setting up
output-
the environment for
Yep,
them.
exactly.
Okay, cool.
So this is a very good extension. Okay, for you, so it will be like this. If you give your input and okay, and you expect output, so it will run your code and see okay how many test cases are you passing, okay, which is failing, okay, by how much time, and like all this will give you. If
I
you're
did
giving
not
it
know this,
clearly.
dude.
Yeah. So this is a very nice extension. You can note it or you can download it with me. Anything. So remember this competitive
Is there
programming.
anybody who
helper-
doesn't have VS Code? Then easy, you have to install VS Code.
Okay. So if you use any other code editor like Sublime, Atom, anything. So I hope because I used Atom for 2 days maybe, and this okay extension is available there. Okay, I don't know about Sublime, but if you're using Atom or VS Code, okay, you are just ready to go. You can just install this extension. It's nice one. Okay. So if you have noted down this, I'll come to next part. Oh, this is working. So okay, wait, just should I tell them about templates or not?
Let's start with showing them websites or rating.
Okay, fine. Okay, so okay, there are very two most popular sites which are used for competitive coding. One is CodeChef and the other one. Okay, wait, how do I remove this thing? Okay, it's bugging.
If you have some browser problem, I'll share that.
Yeah, no. Okay, so there are two most very popular websites. One is this CodeChef.com, the CodeChef, and one more is CodeForces. My personal preference is CodeForces. Yeah. So both are epic. Okay, they're just epic. So in CodeChef, we have competitions like Cook-Off, Long Challenge, and
Lunchtime.
Okay. So lunchtime and this Cook-Off are like they're almost similar. Okay, they're like 3 hours at contest, and this one sorry. Yeah, Cook-Off and lunchtime, right? Yeah, Cook-Off and lunchtime are similar.
So basically,
They're
like
3 hour
I
tests.
showed in the PPT, there are contests.
Yeah.
You have the same kind of environment, but the time is the difference. Okay, so there are different formats. Yes, the judging will be different. You don't need to get confused as of now. So as you're beginning out, there are specifically 4 contests which are hosted in CodeChef: starters contest, long challenge, cook-off, and lunchtime. So what are these things? So basically, Sain, can you open long challenge? Is happening right now.
Wait.
So long challenge is a contest, and it goes for 10 days. It starts every Friday, starting every first Friday of every month, and it goes on for 10 days. And you'll be given like these many questions. Okay, because you're starting out, you can see here there are these questions. So
there's all the question you have to solve. In a span of 10 days. Okay, how many days are left? It's like still 2 days, 23 minutes are left. You can come and start solving. Okay, and at the end of this 2 days, 20 minutes, okay, it'll give you your result. How much points did you get? And all those.
Is there anybody who's participating?
As you're beginners, you have to come to Division 3. Once you reach around 1600 points, you can come to Division 2. And I think how much for Division 1? 2K. 2K.
No, what?
For Division 1.
What 2K?
Points in course.
Never mind.
Yeah. Division 1. Okay, just focus on Division 3 and Division 2 till now. So you can start and come and start doing this Division 3. And once you reach around 1600 points, and I think you can do division 2.
Yes. So for every contest, there will be 3 divisions. So division 3 is for totally beginners who are beginning out in competitive coding. Division 2 is people who are comfortable with people like division 2 is like for average people like me and Sain. Okay. We are not beginning, we are not beginners, but we are average and we are not pro either. So we fall in division 2. And when you are not an average person, you're like above average, you will go to division 1. So that is how it is. So can you show the rating system, dude? Can you Google out like CodeChef rating system?
Yep.
I have this page open. Can I share my screen?
Oh yeah, definitely. Wait. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Here it is.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
Okay, Abo, can you see that here link? You can know details about rating division system. Yeah, click on that. So this is how. Yeah, see 2K. About 2K, you can go to division 1.
Overall CodeChef rating. Can you click on overall CodeChef rating? Okay, this shows this one now.
7 stars. I dream.
Wait, dude. I'll paste the link in the chat box. Wait a second, Bharat.
This guy. Okay, I'll tell you one very interesting thing till he shares. Can you see the 4th number guy? Ksun48. Yep. Once I was giving a competition on I think Google Kickstart. Okay, and this guy completed 6 questions in a span of 30 minutes, and in the span of 1 hour I was able to do only 3. A very talented guy, and he's only I think a teenager, like he's smaller than me.
Yeah, I sent a link in the chat box. Can you open that link? So yeah, scroll down. Down, they'll explain about stars. Yeah, see there.
Yeah, see.
Now, every particular, has anybody played any game where you would have stars, like not stars, like rating? Anybody? PUBG, COD, anything?
PUBG.
Yeah, so you'll have this bronze, crown,
Conqueror,
something, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
depending on your skill level or performance, you'll get your particular reward. That is how good you're skilled, right? So the same way it works here. So this is called as the ELO system of CodeChef. It will be different in different platforms. So CodeChef will award you with a particular star rating system. Okay, so here are the different stars available. So which star rating tells you what? So 1 and 2 are like beginners, like they're beginning out. So 1 and 2 rating people come under division 3, and 3 and 4 come under division 2, because 3 and 4 are average coders. And from 5 star, everybody comes under division 1. So what should be the dream or goal? 5 or 4 star?
Yep.
Sain, what's your dream, dude? Don't tell me 7.
7. Oh my god. If I reach around 5, I'm like 2100 points. Wow, I'll be like, yeah, I'm proud of myself now.
Yeah, so you're like it will be really cool. Like if your profile wants to get standout, if you want to get if your profile wants to get into limelight, then it's highly possible. If you reach 5 stars, you will be the most highlighted profile. If ever you're applying for anything, you can put this in your resume. Believe me, this will be standing out of the crowd.
Actually, it's a really good star rating. It's really nice.
So this is how it is, and this is the star rating of CodeChef. So can you stop sharing for a sec? I'll explain the different websites and all. Yep, thank you. So can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
So if you, as soon as you create your account, this is my profile. So here you can see my rating of different contests, how it is going down, it's coming down. You can see your performance on how exactly you are doing. And here is the overall distribution among the ranking rating. You can see it's pretty average between 3-star and 4-star. It's very easy to get 3-star and 4-star. Okay, you can get to there if you are sticking in the competitive coding domain. Okay, because it's very easy to we'll do a lot of contests. We'll be doing a lot of virtual contests so that you'll get used to the particular environment. Okay. Now this is one particular famous website. Now, how do you know what contest is happening when? You have to go to the compet page. Okay, and you can see there will be present coding contest, and you have to see the time frame. So there are a few contests where it will be going for infinite duration. So these are practice contests. You can ignore them. Ignore the practice contest. Come here and see here. Here you'll have a ongoing contest. So you can click on this. You can attend them. Okay, and you have to go to your particular division which you like, which you are eligible. So my division is Division 2. I'll go and set Division 2, and I'll start participating. And few contests will be rated for few divisions. It will be unrated for few divisions, because you'll be given these many questions and 10 days. It will be easy for other division members to solve these questions. So it's unrated for Division 1 and Division 2. But then it may change. Once in a while they'll be posting rated also. So you have to keep checking them. But if you are sticking with the competitive coding team, we will be intimidating you everything. I think Sayan, your bot will do that. You will do that, right?
Yep. Easy.
Yeah, so he's designing a bot which will remind you. So no worries on that. So this is one thing. And upcoming contest, how do you plan yourself for the upcoming contest? See, you can see, come here, there is an upcoming coding contest here in section, in which you can see all these different kind of contests. Now you can tell me, dude, this is like I've never even attended a single contest. How do we start? We will host contest for you. We will prepare the questions. We will prepare the test cases. We will we'll host the questions in our website. All you guys have to do is, these are very good questions, very beginners friendly questions. You have to attend the contest in order to get yourself familiar with it, so that you will be very less intimidated about the real contest. So this is one website. Okay, you have any doubts regarding this, because it takes a lot of time to get comfortable with these websites. Okay, don't worry. Any doubts regarding any kind of website, any kind of thing, you can always open your Discord, come to the CP channel and ask us. We'll be there. And Sayan's whole life is in Discord only, so yeah, he'll be available there. Now coming to the next most awesome website, but it looks like a piece of shit in the beginning. Believe me, even Sayan had the same thing. Even I had the same views. But this is the best website you can ever see. Now there are many things. There is home, there is stop, there is contest, there is gym, there is sponsor, there is blah, 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 blah.
Too much.
Many things. Only thing which you are worried about is come here. Okay, I'll log out. Okay. Come here, click on enter, register, and just ignore. Register here and then ignore. We will have a roadmap for you, where starting we'll have a small easy contest, and then we'll be introducing you with the long challenges here, where the time frame is very long, so you will not have the time pressure, and then slowly we'll be introducing you to Codeforces. What is difference between Codeforces and CodeChef is, CodeChef will have a long contest, like you'll have 10 days, 5 questions, but in Codeforces you'll have 7 questions in 2 hours. You can see, right, the time difference and the time pressure which you'll be getting, So yeah, so this is about Codeforces. We'll do explaining about Codeforces someday later, but these are the two really cool websites. Now, if you want to practice somewhere, I'd recommend go to GFG. This is very temporary practice, okay? Just to get fundamentally clear about how exactly a question is. How do you go to the practice page, dude?
See practice DS Narco.
Yeah, so you have come here, right? So you can see, yeah, my rank in my particular campus, I'm rank 10 and 47 because I rarely practice here. So yeah, anyways, you can come here you can pick mathematical or arrays or strings.
Yep.
Okay, pick arrays or strings or mathematical. Let me pick arrays for example. Open in a new tab.
Okay, recommended
And
that
start.
you don't go to advanced topics, at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah. We will tell you, okay, in this
Yeah.
particular day, see this particular bridging course can go up to 5 or 6, 7 days. Okay, we will tell you each day what to do so that you'll be ready with you will not have the fear factor in your brain. You'll completely understand. So let me pick one particular question here just to explain you guys how a question looks and how to do. So you'll have this particular class solution. So I will pick Python, okay, because you guys love Python. So yeah. Now, after read the question. So here's the different parts in the question. Here's the description of the question. Yeah, this also includes the description. And here are the constraints, like what should be the time complexity and space complexity. So I am assuming that you guys don't know what is time complexity and space complexity. Is there anybody who knows?
Oh,
Okay, I think the seniors might know, but the juniors, cool. Don't worry, we will walk you through that.
Slowly.
Someday. Yeah, slowly, piece by piece. So yes, so I have this particular question here. I have to write the code here and I have to submit it. Read the question, okay, and read the output, understand the question. So if you see here what the question is asking, your task is you don't need to read or print anything. So basically, while teaching programming, they'll teach us like for reading a variable, you'll print first, print input, give me enter a variable. You'll do right. See,
Yeah.
if I'm taking I input, okay. Generally, how they'll teach us in this thing. So basically, you will print here something, or enter the variable or something, but you can't do it here because everything you'll be printing to console output. It is checked by a robot. It doesn't know what is meant by enter a number or something. So you need not know that. Just come here and type on print. Sorry, type input. There's nothing. You have to only output what this guy is asking. See, in the output is only expecting one integer. Then you print only one integer. It doesn't matter about whether you ask the robot to give me the elements or what. No, it doesn't matter. And basically, for many of the questions, you need not take input also because the input will be given you in the function. Very rarely, there will be no boilerplate. That is, there will be no templates in which you have to take the input. There, in many of the questions in GFG, you will have this driver code where it will take input and it will give you in a function. All you have to do is implement here. Okay, let me just solve this question for you guys. So I just wrote some stupid code. Okay, and then I return. After return, I have to print.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, after return. So you can compile and run this. So it's telling compilation is successful. I'll just submit it. If your answer is correct, it will come correct. If not, if it's wrong, it will come wrong. Yeah, correct submission. Okay, so you can practice like this. So this is one particular practice website. And now Sayan will tell you how to set up in VS Code. Is there anything else, Sayan? Showing in websites and all?
No.
Nothing.
Okay, wait, have I just now it said something about lead code. Was it
Yeah, lead
audible?
code. Yeah, explain. No, you are not audible.
Oh, okay. So there is one more site called Lead Code. Okay, if you haven't heard of it, okay, like it's a very popular site for interview questions and all, especially for bank. So it is also the same thing. Okay, they won't give you any input output. Okay, they will just give you a function, and you have to fill that function. You have to type your code. Okay, the main logic of your code into the function. No input output, nothing. But in CodeChef code forces, okay, you have to take the inputs, you have to print the outputs. Everything is manual, no automatic. Yeah. So
How to set up VS Code.
Yeah, yes.
I'll highly recommend you guys to set up VS Code with this guy. If there's any error, it will be really cool to share your screen and help you solve it. And C++ installing.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay. If you guys want to ever, practice
Chocolate,
C++,
use it. Tell them that
uh,
using chocolate, it is very easy using chocolate.
okay, fine. I don't have chocolate. I don't use it.
Okay, I'll share.
Yeah, I like sorry, I like manual.
Yeah. Anyways, chocolate is easy. So,
Yep.
so just tell me if anybody is following with me. Is anybody following with me? So first
Yes,
question.
I am following.
Yeah,
Everyone
even
is
I.
following. So, do you guys have a C++ in your system? There's one way to check.
Not
Open
yet
your. Sorry.
Not installed.
Okay.
I
There's
have
one way to
ESP,
check.
but I don't have C++.
There's one way to check GCC. So not GCC, G++.
G++ space -v.
No, I don't have G++. So I did
Okay.
not install it. Yeah.
Nice.
So you'll have something like this. Okay. Let me check if I've installed it or not. If I've installed and it's not showing, then there's something wrong with my particular setup.
So MinGW is the C++ compiler name. Really
Yeah,
cool.
for Windows.
Yeah, for Windows.
Why is this loading? So anyways, by the meantime, you guys can do this. Search Google that Chocolatey install. Okay, you will get this particular step, right? Installing Chocolatey. Go there. And if you see, the first step is ensure that you're using an administrative shell. That is, click on Windows button, open PowerShell, okay, and then run on administrator. Or you can just right click here and run as administrator. So are everybody in point with me now?
Yep, even I'm doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, you can see here if your particular PowerShell is opened in Windows and System32 directory, that means you're running in on administrative access. So cool, everything is cool. Now, go to this particular command. Now run the following command. It is there now. Copy this command. You have a particular copy button. Copy this and just paste it in the terminal. Or shit, I'm using Control Shift V, dude. Sit there and hit enter. I've already installed, so I'm not going to do it again. Because who wants to spoil already installed software?
Yeah,
So
the first
Shine,
rule
can you
is-
share? Can you share?
Yeah. The first rule is if your code is working, don't touch it.
Yeah, don't.
Just a second, I'll just search for it. Yeah.
Share your screen.
I'm sharing. Yeah.
Nikhil, are you setting?
Yep, I'm setting it up.
No, I'm asking Nikhil.
Okay.
Nikhil? So Nikhil is my friend. I encourage him to do CP, so I know he's not having C++ on his system.
Okay. Wow, is my PowerShell
ISC,
different?
you opened ISC.
Oh, I see.
You can use Windows Terminal also.
Again, command prompt. Just
Other than
what you're using. Yeah. It takes time. Okay.
is this what do I do after opening PowerShell? Copy the first command and execute it.
Yeah, the first command. Adding. Is it installed?
Close and open your terminal, Windows terminal. chocolatey, you eat chocolatey, choco.
Choco. Just
And
Choco?
it's just choco. Yeah, it is
Oh
there.
yeah, nice.
Now, whenever now, can you Google Choco GUI? So if you have ever used Linux or anything, there are package managers for Mac for operating system. What is Mac OS Catalina or something? You'll have Brew as a package manager. They're using terminal. You can install everything instead of extracting and all that bullshit. So in Linux, you'll have Snap and App Store, and in Windows, you have this. You have to run an administrator. If not, it will not work.
Oh no, it is running. Is it running?
See, Chocolatey detected you're not running on from elevated command shell.
But it's installing. Yeah, see. It's
You may
downloading.
experience errors. Many functions or packages require admin rights.
Oh.
Read that code.
We'll see. Never mind. Okay, it's good to get errors. Yes. Oh yeah. See the error. See the beautiful errors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Open in administrator in PowerShell. CMD is no, it's not going to happen in CMD.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. This only once you'll be using a command. You'll be using a CLI, and rest you'll be using a GUI, which you'll be installing. So can you copy that and paste it in the chat box? Choco install Chocolatey GUI. So is everybody install Chocolatey?
Yes, Chocolatey installed.
Okay. And now you have to run Choco install Chocolatey GUI in a PowerShell administrator or administrator. Hit A, bro.
I got lost somewhere. Can I share my screen again from the beginning?
Yeah. Just a second. Share.
You did not do it in administrator. Oh, Windows 11.
Windows 11. The GUI, they have worked on the GUI.
Right, is everything okay?
Do you want to run the script? Yes. Yes to all.
Hit A.
Yeah. Hit A and enter.
Okay.
Others, are you done with this installation? Krishna, Anusha, Tarun, Nikhil, Mahindra.
Chocolate is already installed. Hit Choco and hit enter. Strange. Why is it coming like this?
Choco upgrade, chocolate to handle upgrades. Okay.
It's already installed. It's saying that installation were found. Did
Run the command.
you stop the installation? No, Choco, it's telling it's not. Choco is not there. Okay, let's do one thing. Open your C drive. Programming data. No programming data. Okay, program files maybe.
I hope it should be in program files. 86.
Chocolatey, it's not there here. No, it's not there here. Can you open that particular thing where you have run? Is it because of Windows 11? I have no clue.
Okay.
Not good.
Can you paste it again? The whole line which you copied. Yeah, hit enter. Now copy the path there.
Files from previous installation were found.
Copy the path there. See only the path. Our found at C programming data.
Okay, program data is a hidden file or what? It may be a hidden
Yeah.
folder.
Yeah, now go back. Go to only programming data. We'll delete the whole thing. Yeah, shift delete. Yeah, and can you run the thing again? Use arrow mark. Use arrow mark. Like upper
up
arrow.
arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, close the PowerShell and open again. In administrator. Is it okay to install C++ on Visual Studio and run the code? I did not understand.
What?
Can you ask again, Krishna?
It's like we can install the package in Visual Studio Code, no? VS Code. C or C++.
The package is it doesn't contain C++. It only helps you run C++ code.
Okay.
But it doesn't contain the MinGW compiler which has C++. Wait. Sriram, go back to the thing. PowerShell. Hit Chaco and enter. Yes, it's there.
Right,
Cool. Now copy the thing which Science sent in chat. Okay, you can just type Choco install Chocolatey GUI.
Choco install.
LATEY. Yeah, enter. So stop sharing, Sriram. Sujana had some doubt.
Okay. So that's it. What should we do
Yeah,
now?
hit A and
Bye.
enter.
Yeah.
Sujana, you had some doubt, right?
Yeah, like I think it installed. Chocolatey installed 3x3 packages. That's all now.
Yeah, that's all. Sign, share a screen.
I should have a
Open
GUI
your
now.
Windows button and search for UA. See the first
Like,
application.
can I share my screen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, share.
Yep. Oh, it looks like a Milky Bar.
Yeah, dude. Choco install Chocolatey GUI.
Should I give space?
Yeah, Chocolatey.
LATEY GUI -y space -y space. Give a space there. No, hyphen should not be there, right? GUI space -y.
Okay.
Yeah, -y. Enter. That's all.
No, should I stop screen?
Yeah.
If it asks anything, then just press A and enter.
Yeah, that's all. That's why we entered -y. No, accept anything if it's asking. So
Yeah.
So you have C++, so you don't have to show. I don't have C++, so I'll show.
Okay. Oh wow, it looks like this. Nice. What if I search for MinGW?
You have to search in Chocolatey.
What? Okay, search in Chocolatey. Okay, nice.
Yeah, Chocolatey install 3x3 package. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, yeah. Nice. Okay, I'll share it.
So
Cool.
I'm sharing my screen. So, good. If they are doing in Python, what is the use of installing this in installing C++ on their machines?
It's good. Okay. CPP is good.
Yeah. Later part you can use CPP also. You just strike me now.
If you ever get bored of Python, yeah, do CPP.
So yes. You can open Chocolatey UI, search for GUI in your search box, and you'll have Chocolatey UI installed. So everybody is having this Chocolatey UI, right? Now open, you have to see something like this. Bharat, can you see this particular application opening in your screen?
Yes, yes.
So why don't we do like whoever got this UI, they can just
Got
put a thumbs up reaction.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoever can see the GUI in their PCs. Nice. Okay. Yeah, problem with
Now
Anusha.
search
Krishna,
for
Maitra,
Minji
Krishna,
W. Go to Chocolatey after opening this particular
Nikhil
GUI.
and Anusha, do you have any problem doing this?
Or they're AFK.
No, I installed.
Okay.
Okay,
And,
install. Can you see the GUI?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Nikhil?
I think I'm 90% sure that he's AFK, right? So go open this particular Chocolatey software and go to Chocolatey. There are two options, this PC and Chocolatey. Go to Chocolatey and search for MinGW and select MinGW64. Okay. Sign, can you search what version of MinGW is there online?
Yep. Just a sec.
I hope it is 11.2. If not, all this time it will just be.
So
it's been like almost 1 year using C++ in Windows machine. So yeah.
GW.
So anyways, after seeing this, click on install.
Like 7.2.
On online.
Yep, online. 7.2.
Nice. Let's see how badly we messed up.
Why? What is that version here?
It's 11 point something.
What?
11.2.
11.2.0.
In the official thing. Why is this going on hiding in background? Shimjam. C, G++, GCC, it's coming. So everybody hit install, right?
Yeah, but I'm facing another.
Holy moly. Guacamole. What's C? So Nikhil, can you summarize what and all we discussed till now?
Yes. We just discussed about the Chocolatey.
Chocolatey.
Check melody.
You can see G++ now it's recognizing after installing.
You can just put G++ space -v. Easy.
Okay.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, it's working. It's not telling that G++ is not recognized an internal or external command. So it's working. Cool. We have installed it. We have set the paths and all. Everything Chocolatey has taken care of. So in future, if you want to install any kind of software, you can go to Chocolatey. Like if I want to install, let's say, tell me something good.
Yeah, what?
Some software. Maybe what I have VS Code. I have Sublime Text. What else?
Download
Okay.
Google Drive. Who cares?
It's already there.
Oh my
See,
god.
if I want to download Python, I can go here, click on install. So it'll see that all the setting path variables and all. So you don't have to worry about all those things. So it is as simple as it is. Thanks to me, you have a new tool. Cool. Now moving on to Fan. C++ setup is completed, and someone was having some error. Who is that gentleman?
Who was
Share your
having
screen.
error?
So it says fatal error, no input files. G++, if I give
Yes.
NCM.
That means G++ is telling you the error. So G++ is installed, right? So
Oh,
you're getting it. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, got it.
So if it says G++ is not recognized as an internal or external command, that
How
means
to know it's installed? Like where should we?
open your terminal, that is CMD or
CMD.
PowerShell. Yeah.
Okay.
And then hit G++ and enter.
G++.
Fail to install. Access to path programming data is denied. Okay, click OK. Close this GUI. Open it in administrator access, the GUI thing. Not guitar ringer array.
It says no input files, compilation terminated.
So G++ is telling you that there is no input files. That means G++ is there on your PC. If Windows is telling you error, that means G++ is not installed. If G++ is telling you an error, that means G++ is installed. I hope I'm not confusing you.
Oh my god, you
Yeah,
confused.
got it.
Open console output. Bharat, open
Yeah,
console output. There. You can see. Click on the drop down button.
Okay.
Yeah, it's installing. You should not have any problem. Now, meanwhile, share your screen. Soon. Before it gets installed, we have to do something. Open CMD. Yeah. Hit type G++ and enter. See, it's telling G++ is not recognized as an internal or external command. So Windows is telling you that error right now. After installing, we'll do it again. See what error we will get that time. Nikhil, do you have C++ on your system? I think we did that, no? Yes, sir.
I have to see.
Open CMD and type G++ and enter. Tell me what you are getting.
Okay, wait.
Type G++, Bharat. Now type G++ and hit enter. See, there's a two different output which is coming. Now G++.exe is telling you what's the error. That means G++ is there on your system. Yeah, stop sharing, Bharat. Is there anybody who's facing any trouble? Anybody?
No one? Nice.
Like,
Okay. No one.
Okay. Sign. It's your turn.
Yeah. Interesting part.
If you don't have VS Code, you can install the VS Code also from GUI only.
Yep. Okay. I want you to create a folder in your desktop or anywhere. Okay. Just create a folder. Okay, and run it with inside VS Code. So if you don't remember Jay telling this before, create a folder. Come here and you have to type CMD. Right. And when you come to CMD, you have to type code, then full stop. It will open in VS Code. I have already opened it. Yeah. Okay, done. Can I hear any responses?
Yeah, done.
Yep. Okay, create a file, code.cpp. This will be, so we'll know how to run C++ code without using any type of other third-party extensions or anything in VS Code. Yeah. We'll just do a simple program. Okay, we have to print our name. That's it. So hash include bits /std C++. So this is the header file that comes with MinGW. Right. And this header file has everything included in, literally everything. No need to use anything with this. Using namespace std. So this ensures that we don't have to type std everywhere in our input and output. Okay.
If you're like getting confused, just ignore.
Yep.
I'd recommend you to get started with CP with your favorite language. So if anybody wants to get started with C++, we can. If there are like more than 2 or 3 people, we can host a small some other time. So don't worry if you're not getting what is happening. It is just like it is just explaining you how to use the extension. That's correct, right, Sam?
Yeah. So first we'll do without extension and then we'll do with extension.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. So this is our code for running a simple CPP code and printing our name, right? So how will you run this with G++? After writing this much, open your terminal, a PowerShell command prompt, anything, and we type G++ -o. G++, then our program, our file name, code.cpp -o a. Then we do and then /a. It's very long command, but will do the work.
How on earth did you even buy that too?
What?
The terminal guy.
What?
Okay. So that means generate the object file A and then execute the object file there only.
So we are telling G++ to get this file code.cpp and /o will generate the object file, okay, with the name of A, and we are to run this object file we are doing this /a. Okay, like if you see like I don't know, but if you do some Coursera courses about the C++, they'll tell you to do like this /a.out. But like when C++ 14 and 17 came, you don't need to include this .out. You can just put /a and you'll get. So see, it's printing our name, right? Anybody got any error in doing this? Any thumbs up? Anything? Sad emoji? No errors, right?
I got it.
Could you please send the code chat box?
Yep, sure. See. Yeah, I'll wait for 1 minute. I'll want you guys to get the output. It's like if you want to remember G++ file name -o a and /. After this, we'll get to this CP. How will you check if your code is correct or not?
I am having a doubt. So if anybody can answer this, answer. So now, if the host exits the meeting, will the meeting end or someone else will become host?
Someone else will become host.
Pakka?
Yeah, that's what happens in class, in our CG class. He leaves the class, 1 hour before, and somebody else get to be the host.
Okay. So everybody's telling me that dude, let's try and leave the meeting.
Done, right? Everyone got the output? Yeses, no's, emojis?
Yes, got the output.
Yep, sure. Okay, we'll do a simple code here. Okay, we'll just change the code a little bit. So what we'll do is, now we are testing how to do in CPH. Okay. So we'll input a number, Cin n, and we want to just we want to print +10 to this number. Okay, Cout n +10. Very simple code. Nothing. Okay. I haven't declared the value. So I'm taking the input n, okay, and I'm just printing n plus n. So how will you do this in CPH? So in CPH, we'll put the input first. So suppose if my input is 6, so what should be my expected output? Anyone? Come on. Just add.
Come on, guys. If you don't know, tell don't know. So I just include
No, I
16,
don't.
dude.
16, exactly. If I just want to put one more test case, I'll put 10. What will do? Okay, if I put 10, okay, what should be my output? The code is nothing but you have to input a number. Okay, you have to just print out. Okay, if you add 10, okay, like you have to print that number. So, okay, for example, if my input is 6, okay, what should be my expected output? If you add 10, it should be 16. Okay. So what if my input is 10? Expected output will be 10 plus 10, 20. Now I'll do this run. Can you see here this button? Run. You can, if you want, you can run like this one by one. Or if you don't want this, see you have a below option called run all. Okay, you can just click on run all. Okay, one is running.
Bharat, is everything okay now?
Yeah, now I'm able to hear you.
Cool. What happened to the live stream? Everything is
Yes,
happening there.
everything is going on, like nothing has happened.
Okay, cool.
Okay, can you see here? This thing says passed, right? Test case 1 passed, test case 2 passed. Okay. So okay, so received output. So because I'm out, printing n plus 10 here, see I'm getting the received output here 20, 16. Okay, what if I change? Okay, what if I change my code to plus 10? Sorry, plus 5. Okay, so it is definite that if I input 6, okay, my answer should be what? 6 plus 5, 11. But I'm expecting 16. So for example, if I run this, what error it will give you? It will give you that test case failed here. See, it failed. Received output is 11. So because I input 6, okay, so I should get the answer is 11. Okay, but what I'm expecting 16. So it's wrong, right? So this is how you use CPH. So mostly what you will do is, okay, when you do, a competition that is live. So for example, I'll just, take this code.
Go to long challenge and pick first question. No,
Okay, just
it is a live
practice.
contest, no? Never mind.
Yeah, no, never mind. Okay, so when you do, an actual question, okay, that they've given you examples. See, you can see your input and output, right? So what you have to do is, you have to copy this input, right? Control C, and you have to paste in this input area, okay? And you have to copy the output here, and you have to paste in the expected output area. So, okay, if I just run the code for factorial,
We did not give the test cases.
what?
You have to add 3 as test cases, number of test cases.
Yeah. I was going on through that the test case thing.
And you can put everything in one test case, no?
No. Okay, I am not going for that thing.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
going for T. So there is one more logic for T. We'll say later.
I forgot that we're doing our stuff. Never mind.
Okay, so what if I put 5 factorial? It will be 120, 4 factorial 24, 3 factorial 6, right? So let me put this.
Initialize P.
Yeah. Wait. I'm doing it all right here. What? Okay, fine. So this is a simple factorial code. So it will, take from 2 to n, and it will multiply everything to p, and it will print the output p. So we'll check. Run all. See, test case passed. Oh, lol, I forgot to see here. my test case 1, test case 2 passed. So because I put expected output as 12, so it should be 12, right? It should be 120. So because also it given this error. So if I just correct my expected output and run it, see, all your test cases got passed. So this is how you can ensure, okay, before submitting your code, if your code is working. Because what happens in Codeforce is, if you do a wrong submission, okay, you'll get a negative 50 points from your thing. So you need to be, 100% sure that if your code is working properly.
So
okay,
the thing
which
is,
time
you will be writing your logic, okay, for a given question. You can just copy one. There will be many test cases given there. You can copy the basic test cases. You can paste them here. So while you'll be going over different iterations of your code, that is, you'll be like, no, this will not be. This will If I do this thing, my code will become a little efficient. So you change this thing, you change that, you change this thing. So for each and every time, you have to check for the base test cases, because if your code is failing for the public test cases, then it will obviously fail for the private test cases. You have to never submit your code without checking with the already given public test cases. You guys know what is public test cases, right? So Sriram, what is public test cases? You have attended many contests, right?
The test case which we get before submission when we click on run, for example, in HackerRank.
Yeah,
that one
cool.
would be given along with the question as well.
Yeah.
So
So example
those
input,
are-
example output.
The
So
other
those are
test
the
cases
public
would
test
be
cases.
hidden.
Yep.
Yes, cool. So what Sayan is trying to tell is, you add the public test cases towards your left side of the VS Code, and each and every time you don't have to copy, you have to just click on one button, run all, so that you check for every different version of your code, what is the output and what is the input. So this is like the basic setup which will help you start with the competitive coding. It's not like you have to use CPP. No, you can start with any preferred language you
You
want.
can even put Python here, okay, to run in Python. Okay, it doesn't matter which language you use, it will run everything.
Yeah. So this is I think this is it now, Sayan. Is there anything else?
No.
Yes.
If you want to, get more insights, okay, if you're interested, okay, in more, like going in depth, then we can host one more contest. And I'll say you, okay, how to create templates, okay, how to actually code into this, the competitive stuff, okay, how to, get your VS Code completely ready for if you want to, start doing contests and all. We'll cover templates, okay, then other things, okay, and type def.
By tomorrow afternoon
shortcuts.
or by tomorrow evening, we'll be sending you like a total plan which we will be making. So is there anybody here who doesn't want to continue with CP? Like, it's okay if you don't want to continue with CP, because people have their personal preferences.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anybody?
I'm so sad because my best friends don't like CP.
It happens. Yeah, we can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So everybody loves CP? Cool. Thumbs up, dude. Some others also come. Nice.
Why can't I see participants? Okay, yeah, I can see now. Oh, nice.
Nice. So what we will be having here is, we will be having like a peer-to-peer mentorship. That is, now see, Sayan knows all this stuff. I don't know this stuff. So he'll be teaching me. Like peer-to-peer is basically you develop yourself by developing others. So the whole clubs work this way only. But CP specifically, it is very much based on peer-to-peer mentorship. So what will happen is, I'm just giving you an overview. It's not like we're going to do it from tomorrow. The overview is, let's suppose this is what me and Sayan will do. There is a contest. I'll tell Sayan that, dude, there's a contest today at night. So we'll participate. It's not like we'll be participating together. No, that's illegal. But you can do it sometimes, okay, off the screen. So anyways, we participate in the contest, and after the contest, we discuss our solutions. Now, what happens when we discuss our solutions? My intuition will be very different with his intuition, because for some few questions, he'll write in Python. For every question, I'll write in C++. So what happens when two people with different intuitions discuss their solutions? Your intuition will just grow, dude, because we can even think in the other way, because the same problem you can solve in different ways. And the most optimistic, when you get to know different intuitions, it will just help with you in the future contest or future experiences. So competitive coding is all about how much experience you're having and what level of intuition you have when you're given a question. Okay, so the main point which I want to convey here is stick along, and we have to work like a team, and we'll participate. We'll participate for every contest, and we'll discuss for every question. And if anybody is knowing any extra concepts, they'll be teaching you little concepts. Okay, so yeah, so this is one dream which we are having, to create a group of people who will be like geeks towards competitive coding, dude. I hope we can make a group like that. Yes, you have anything to ask? You have more 30 minutes because we have a placement exam.
But that is some another level thing going on in college. They're putting us through 10 or 20 tests just to sort out in groups.
So any questions?
Chat box.
Like anywhere you're stuck, or you didn't understand anything,
Yeah, Bharadwaj.
or you didn't get even.
Yeah, Sriram,
thing.
share your screen.
Yeah, sure, wait.
Yeah,
Yep.
second, for a second I read your second name. I'm like, who's Bharadwaj? What is your name? Is it Sriram or is it Bharadwaj? Like, I know that it's your full name, but like, what is the primarily
Where
call
are
you?
you from? Okay, what is written?
People call me Sriram. Cool.
Uh,
You're on mute.
Okay, anti-main. See out. What error are you getting?
The library error, I think.
Okay. Jeep, the term Jeep is not Jiram, Shriram.
You just checked it, no?
Why is Jeep is not recognized? PWSH. What is PWSH?
No, it's not installed in yours correctly. Did you install in MinGW? Open GUI. No, you have MinGW. Then what's the problem? Maybe it's some Windows 11 thing, dude. Open that.
Just check your, like open your terminal and see if G++ is working there. Any terminal. G++ space -v.
Yeah, it's there. Maybe
command prompt. Okay, change your default terminal in this thing in your VS Code.
Go to VS Code.
Change it to command prompt. No, see, can you see PWSH written somewhere?
Can you see the dustbin icon?
Yeah.
Yeah, left.
See, one arrow is there.
Left.
Little left. One arrow is there. No, left side. Left. Yeah. Click on the arrow and click on the select default profile. Change it to command prompt. Yeah. Now delete this and reopen terminal.
Click on Control tilde. Control and tilde is the key below your escape key.
Yeah. Now
do G++. Nope.
What?
Close VS Code and open VS Code.
Are you in the correct path?
Okay. You didn't. It was from previous instance. Save the file Sriram CPP. Why is the blue squiggly line coming?
It's okay. Nothing. You can just ignore it. A blue line.
No, it is in D drive. The Sriram.cpp is in D drive.
Yeah.
You have to save the file. Click
Yeah.
on the file and hit Control S. The code, click on code and hit Control S. Yeah.
Yeah. G++. Sriram.cpp. -o, space -o. A. Then
Enter.
space. Okay, yeah, you can do this much.
You can enter. Just
You
enter
can do
A
this
and
much.
enter.
Enter. So it will create the object file first. It won't give you any output.
Click
Now
on it. Now hit LS.
it will clear.
Oh shit, man.
Bro, not okay. Just type /a.
No.
Normally /a.
The
Normally.
thing is that command will generate an object file called
Yeah.
Hit enter. Is not recognized as an internal. Wait, rename your file to A, dude. Let's just copy paste the previous command. Never mind.
No, something is wrong. Dot is not getting recognized in its space.
Yeah, current directory. Why will it not get recognized?
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
dot is
maybe
not
it's because
recognized.
of CMD, dude.
Yeah. No, CMD it should work. Like it
Let
should
me
work.
try in mine.
Yep. So before I used to run CMD only.
No. CMD is not working.
Try PowerShell.
Go
Like,
there.
go to
You change the
arrow.
default profile to CMD, right?
Yep.
Change it to PowerShell again.
Change back to PowerShell.
Now kill the terminal and open the new terminal. Check for G++ first if it's there. Yeah, it's there. Now go to your D drive.
The A file should also be there. Right?
Yeah, now click on /A, enter.
Yeah,
it's working. Output should be printed now.
Yeah. Sentiment.
So strange, dude. You can hit Control L to clear the terminal.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not coming.
Type /A .out. Yeah, first won't be recognized. Then why is it not printing?
I have no
Yesterday
clue.
tried installing some compiler for C and I was facing the same issue.
Which one? Which one?
Not C for C.
For C. If you mingetably install, you should get output. And this /A is the default
Is
command.
there anybody who's having same kind of trouble?
Like how many of you got output? Can you say?
Yeah, how many of you got output?
Just put a thumbs up.
Sacharan got output.
That means the rest all.
I had some issue with the test cases thing.
Okay. Yeah, that we can do. So Krishna, Anusha, Mahendra, Nikhil, you didn't get output. Bharat also.
No, my screen is lagging, so I'm not doing.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it.
Anusha, Krishna, Mahendra, Nikhil, outputs.
I'll check path again.
Yeah.
No, Archana is working, but why is the file not outputting anything?
It should not be related to formatting, right? The format. I don't think so.
What is this?
This is never mind. This is what we some VS Code settings.
Okay, should I close it?
Yeah. There is something hash include bits yesterday is able using yesterday main see out Sriram. Yep, exactly. Everything is correct. You can
Really
just
same.
you can just Google it out. Maybe you're not getting it.
Okay, we'll see this later. Sriram.
Okay.
You try
Like
googling out and
yep.
tell us
If
in
you don't
Discord.
get Googling out, okay, you can text me or Jay in evening. Okay, we'll sort it out with you.
I'll try again and see some YouTube videos.
Okay.
Arun, you have some trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm sharing it again. This one.
Okay. Yeah. Paid. One. Just run it. So you're not receiving output. That's why it's putting failed. Why you're not receiving output? And
Same problem, with
yep. Yeah, he's not receiving output.
I got it here.
Yeah, he got it there.
run the file. Run here. Run in terminal.
Yeah, run the same thing in terminal. Above command only. Yeah. Just
arrow
above.
mark. Yeah, enter. Give a number.
It's running here.
What the fuck?
Language.
Sorry.
111.
Oh, what kind of sorcery is this, dude? What is?
Yeah. At the beginning you face.
Like, do we need to have
Wait. Click on settings. Click on settings once.
Yeah.
Below. You can see a settings icon. Update. Restart and update.
Oh, you have to update VS Code.
No, should I share it again? Screen.
Yep. Yeah.
Hello, Jay.
Yes. Yes, Nikhil.
I'm having trouble in my laptop. I will show by next meeting, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Nobody asked you. You just came from AFK, no?
Can you say it?
Okay, yeah. Test case hint is the compiler GPus installed. Check the compiler in CPS settings. Okay. Go to your okay, you can do it. Okay, go to settings. Yeah, settings. See, you can see an extension here in the left side, like commonly used. Okay, below that you can see extension. No. Not there. In the commonly used area. No.
Okay.
See on your main screen. Yeah, commonly used. Can you see left side? Left side. Yeah. So below you can see one extension area. Scroll down.
This one.
No.
Just scroll there.
Yeah.
Now you can see extension.
Extension. Yeah. Open that and search for CPH here. Yep. Yeah, exactly. This one. Compile.
1 second, wait. Can you hit Control minus?
Yep. It's too zoomed out. Zoomed in. Yeah. Now.
Where should I search? Like here.
Yep.
It's there. You can see it.
It's there. Yeah. Here only. CPH. Can you see above CPH? Okay. So these are all the settings for CPH extension. Okay. Right side.
In the middle.
Yeah. All the settings are for CPH only.
No, don't check.
Yeah, here you have to see language choices. Scroll down slowly. Scroll. C language, C. Okay, GCC is mentioned. Why not change it? Command
For
you have
dot
to
C,
compile.
that is for
Okay.
dot C. That is for dot
Okay,
C.
dot C. Okay. Scroll down. We need to see CPP instead of C. It should be CPP. Yeah, CTM. Submissive compiler. Okay, click on that thing, that arrow mark. Okay, only one option. Scroll down.
For CPP, it's using G++, correct?
Yeah, G++ 70. Okay. Yeah, everything
That
is
is for
fine.
Java. Wait, I got an idea.
Yeah.
There you can see Java, right? Go on, hover over Java. Command above, a little above. Java. There only on the text you can see Java there, right? CPP language Java. Can you click that? You can't click that, huh?
This one.
Just below. Yeah, that one.
But in the terminal, it's telling that the compiler command.
Command used to compile Java
Can you
files.
Google this? Like, or at least paste in chat box so that I'll Google. Can you copy the whole output and paste it in chat box?
This one.
Yeah. So one very first thing which everybody has to learn.
Okay, wait. Why are we seeing everything in output? Okay, why not in terminal?
No clue.
Go to terminal and run your code. Like
CMD.
Yeah. In your terminal, see in the left side only, like I said, not left, right side of your output thing, you have terminal.
No, like, do I need to change it?
No. Okay, just right of your output.
I can't
See
copy chat here. Huh?
See just above your mouse, can you see terminal?
Terminal. Okay, this one.
Anything. Just click on new terminal. Yeah, and run your code. Okay, you're in bash. Change it to command prompt. Just the command prompt. Yeah. Run.
I don't remember the code.
I tell G++. Then space your file name code.cpp. Space -o. And space A. Yeah, do this much. Enter. G++ is not recognized. This is the error that we have. Jay, is G++ currently getting not recognized? What?
Install MinGW.
Yeah.
I have installed it.
In bash it was coming, no?
Yeah. Even in the CMD, I told you.
Close VS Code and open again.
Jay.
Today open the new thing.
351.
Yeah, 351. When is the exam starting?
4.
Okay, we'll wrap at 3:55.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Give me 1 minute.
in the next meeting. It's okay if you are busy.
No, we have still have 4 minutes. We can utilize.
Okay. Should I open the same file again in the VS Code?
Sorry?
The CP file.
Yeah, do the same thing. Just tell me if it's coming error again. Yeah. Do you want to install the recommended extension for C++? Yes, install. Right side bottom.
Install?
Yeah. Now close everything other than code.cpp. Yeah, close it. Now in your terminal, hit G++ and enter.
Yeah.
Terminal, yeah. G++ enter. Okay, it's there here. Can you switch your terminal to CMD? Like not from VS Code, open external CMD.
No. Should I like press C plus G plus here?
Yeah, just hit G++ enter. You have to see the same output.
Yeah. Can you see the?
No, I can't see, but what is it telling? Read it out, please. What is it telling when you run in CMD?
It says the same thing. Compilation terminator, the same thing.
Ah, cool.
What?
Now can you run the test case now?
Okay.
But what
in
happened?
VS Code.
I just checked in Bash
same-
and in CMD also. Both of them G++ is
Same, the
recognized.
same.
Yeah, that means, yeah, Krishna, you can leave the session.
Successful. Yeah.
Switch term. Okay, now this is a new output. Open problems.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, no problems. What is happening? Rerun it again once.
Jay and Sayan, can I leave the meet? Even I have some problem.
Yeah, you guys can leave meeting. No problem.
So if you have any problem later, okay, you can just ping me or Jay in Discord. Okay, we'll come and
Yeah.
solve your issues.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do something. Who are having any install or some problems? We can meet at 7:30 or 8 in Discord.
Okay.
If you have any problem, we can solve that.
Should I stop sharing screen?
Yeah. Strange problem though.
Yep. CP is this only problems and you get the solution.
That is why I use Linux.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the test case thing is running for everyone, right? Or it's only for me?
No, like same. I have a similar issue.
Even we had this when we first installed this.
Okay.
Did you have the same issue, Sam?
Yeah, dude, in my PC it was like I have to install MinJW 3 times. Once path was not added. Okay, once I have to remove then re-add the path. And one more was this output was not coming in CPH. But I solved it somehow by googling all this.
Okay. So first thing which everybody has to learn is, if you have any problem, first Google it out and like Google it out to the extent where every link is the whole link in the first result page you have seen. Then if you don't get, yeah, then give up. So Bharat, we'll end the meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, thanks for attending, guys. I hope it's useful.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, Jay. It has been useful.
Good.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Everyone can leave, then I'll quit the meeting.
Okay. Sign, come to Discord, dude.